This is The Rusted Willow, and my name is Tammy.
Hi guys. Okay, so I am redoing the baby's room, and which is my grandbaby's room. I'm gonna have another grandbaby coming in January. Yay! Another little girl. So I have 3 little girls, so I don't have to change up the nursery at all because it's already decorated for girls. I found this antique dresser at my vintage marketplace for $40, so I bought it. Well, it was either $30 or $40. I don't know. It was super cheap. I actually think it was only $30. Anyway, I love it. It's only 3 drawers, and the top is big enough to put one of those little contoured changing mats on top. So we are going to do that, and that way it doesn't take up so much space in the baby's room, and I got the perfect spot for it. So we're gonna start redoing this, and I'm gonna show you how.
All right, so here are the before pictures, and let me tell you, this dresser was really rough. It was really dirty, and I don't know, I could just see through all of the issues that it had and how beautiful it could be. And I was really excited to pick this up for super cheap. So we are going to get started on this. And okay, first of all, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and supporting my channel. If you're returning, hi guys. If you are new here, welcome, and I hope you enjoy this video.
Okay, first things first, we're gonna clean the handy dandy crud cutter. Crud cutter. Anyway, we're gonna clean it with this. So let's get started.
So I'm using this crud cutter, which I can barely even say it, and I just go all over this and scrub it down really, really well and get all the dirt and grime off. And then I go back over it with fresh, clean water and wipe all that crud cutter off.
Okay, we're actually gonna remove the drawers and start sanding. I'm gonna sand the whole body and get it paint, and then I'll work on the drawers because they need some work. Let me show you inside. They are pretty scary in there. Pretty scary.
So now it's time for sanding. I actually picked up this sander at Harbor Freight for $10. It was like on sale for $9.99. And I love it because it's lightweight and the little air thing that catches all the dust, it actually clicks on so it doesn't go flying off when you turn it on. And I just love that. My expensive one does not lock in place. And anyway, it's quite discouraging.
I don't know if you can see that real well. There's a nail there, there, and there. There, and there. And a crack goes all the way down and all the way up. So we're going to use this plastic wood filler.
So I've had this plastic wood in my stash for quite a while. I don't know where I got it, but I must have picked it up somewhere. And I really like it. I don't know that I will go back to the regular wood filler just because this works so well. Now, I'm not sure you should use your finger to apply it because when I went to wash it off, I had to scrub it off of my fingers. So use a putty knife and I think you'll be pleased. And it works really, really well. So after I get all of that done, I am just going to go ahead and shellac it. And this should seal in all the wood tannins and give you a nice, even finish when you go to paint it. Now, did this work out for me? No, it didn't. I actually shellacked it, I primered it twice, and then I shellacked it again. And the wood tannins were still coming through. But you will see how we have to adjust and pivot later on in the video. So after the wood filler, well, the plastic wood dries, it dries really hard, but it sands really nice. And it actually dries super fast. So you don't have to wait for hours. It's literally dry within 30 minutes or so. So I am just sanding and feeling it out with my fingers and making sure that it's nice and smooth. So I always give it the feel test every time I sand and make sure that it's nice and smooth, because if you have any rough edges, that is going to show through your paint job, and you don't want that to happen. So take your time and do a nice sanding job. Guys, today is First Friday, and the theme is crafting your stash. I have dressers out the wazoo, so I am crafting my dresser to put in the baby's room, which actually doesn't work out, but that's okay. More to come on that. Please go over and visit Our Gray House with Lisa and Sarah over at Jujubee DIY, and I will have their links to their channels as well as the playlist listed down below in my description box and pinned in my comments. So now we are going to primer this. I am using this color block from Fusion that I picked up at a store downtown here. They were getting rid of all their Fusion line, and I believe this is pretty old because the logo is very old. So I don't know how long they've had this, but I don't think it worked as well this time as it worked previously when I used it, because I still had issues with the wood tannins coming through even after I shellacked it and primered it. So I am just showing you that I am finishing up the primering on the front, and I actually do give it 2 coats of primer, and then after I give it this last coat of primer, I could still see the wood tannins coming through, so I went ahead and shellacked it again to seal the primer even more.
Okay, so I got the primer on here and now I'm ready for paint. The vibe that I am going for in the baby's room, well, the vibe that I've already had going is shabby chic. So I want it kind of vintage, shabby chic. So I am doing this beautiful dresser. I'm going to be doing it in the color Parchment, which is a fusion color. And I'm also going to be adding wooden wheels to the bottom that I already have in my stash. So whenever I go thrifting, antiquing, whatever, if I find wooden wheels or any kind of little antique wheels, I always pick them up. So I'm always on the lookout for that kind of stuff and I'm always picking them up. So we are going to start putting some color on this dresser so I can get it done today. So that's my goal. Got to get it done today. Got to get the baby's room done. And then I'm going to start on another piece of furniture to go in there, which is kind of like a surprise to my girls because, well, I don't want to give away any details on that. So anyway, okay, we'll get to that later. Okay, so we're going to be using the color Parchment. I got to keep it light, bright, and airy for that shabby chic feel. And I am going to be using my Fusion brush. It is a Stallmeister. I think that's how you pronounce the name. Anyway, I haven't used these brushes yet, so I'm excited to try it. I do use the triangle brushes that I will have available on my online store once I get my online store up and going. So anyway, lots of projects. And I do work full time, guys, so it doesn't leave much time for anything else. Anyway, let's get some paint on this. Fusion is all-in-one paint, so you don't need a bottom, you don't need a base coat, you don't need a top coat, you don't need any of that. But I want there to be a nice clean finish, and I don't want any of the tannins coming through from the wood. So I did shellac it, I did primer it, because if you are keeping it and it's gonna get a lot of use, it's always a good idea to primer. So That's what we're doing here. And you want to stir it up real nice. And this parchment is kind of it reminds me of a creamy gray color, if that's possible. I don't know. I don't know how best to describe the color, but it's not really gray. It's not really white. Um, it's just a really nice color in the white and gray. It's kind of maybe a light beigey gray would probably be a good description, but we'll see once we get it on there and it dries, because it's gonna dry lighter. So let's just put some paint on and we'll see how it goes. Oh my goodness, such a nice brush. I honestly believe that having a really good brush changes, it's like a game changer. I mean, it puts on a nice even coat. And I want to just put on a light coat because I am going to be putting on 2 coats of paint. This is a nice brush.
I was bound and determined that this dresser was going to go in my nursery. But after I got a coat of paint on there, the wood tannins were still coming through. I was still having issues with it, and I just wasn't happy with it. So I went ahead and after I did this coat of parchment, I let it sit for 24 hours to make sure that it was good and dry, and I was hoping that it would cover nicely. It did cover in most places, but there were still some spots that were coming through that I was not happy with. So I decided to go back over it in this Chateau Gray. I actually, in the meantime, found another dresser. Yes, I did. I found another dresser and asked me how happy my husband was that I said, "Babe, I found another dresser." Okay, he wasn't thrilled. I'll just tell you that. But he was very he was very graceful about it. Let's just put it that way. He didn't really have much to say about it. I know he wasn't thrilled, but I went ahead and decided that I was going to put this dresser in the booth because this is not the color that I wanted, even though it does turn out gorgeous. I love it, and I hope you love it too. So you're just going to have to wait and see how this dresser turns out. Now, let me tell you, this dresser has carved pulls on it, drawer pulls on it. They do not come off, as well as the little carved pieces around the little locking mechanism. So that's why I fell in love with it. I did not put the wood rollers on there because I want to keep them for dressers that I keep for myself. So I'm kind of stingy with those because they're kind of hard to find, and especially matching ones. So I am struggling with finding matching ones, and I'm fine with mismatched ones. And you can have like 2 that match in the front and 2 that match in the back. But anyway, I'm kind of stingy with my wood wheels. But this is after the first coat of the Chateau Gray, and I did use the Annie Sloan paint. Now, Annie Sloan paint does have to be sealed either with a top coat or wax, furniture wax, and I am going to be using furniture wax on this. So now I'm just showing you. So this was just a little sample can that I picked up. I picked up a bunch of samples as well as bigger pint cans in Waco. And this is just the rest of the sample can. So the sample can actually covered the whole entire dresser for 1 coat. So now I'm just finishing this side with what's left in this sample can, and I have a larger pint that I'm going to finish off the rest of the dresser. And this color is gorgeous. You can't really tell in this lighting, but it's like an army green, like a muted army green. It's, I don't know, maybe that's better lighting. It's just gorgeous. So after 2 coats, this is what it looks like. And I have the top drawer set out separately just because it does not have the wood pulls. It had brass hardware. So now it's time to hand sand the entire thing. Yes. So after I give it 2 good coats of the Chateau Gray, I go over it and I hand sand it with 220 sandpaper. Now this is, oh, this Diablo screen sandpaper, which I love. And it has like a foam backing that you attach it to your rotary sander. So I have showed you guys this previously in another video, but I just go over this all the drawers inside and out, and I hand sand everything that has been painted. I do go over the drawers again with my new sander that I got from Harbor Freight. And then after I hand sand everything, I am going to go over this with some clear wax. Now, it doesn't matter what clear wax you use. I have Annie Sloan clear wax and I have the Vintage Market uh, Vintage Market Design or Vintage Design Market clear wax. And I am using the Vintage Market Design because I want to get it used up, and so I can just use my Annie Sloan and then move on to my Fusion. Okay, so then after I clear wax the entire dresser, I am going over all of the carved detail pieces with this Annie Sloan black wax. Now, I've never used the black wax before, so this is my first time ever, but I think I did okay. I don't know. You're going to have to tell me what you think. I'm just going around the carved pieces and the actual drawer pulls. I don't go around any of the corners or anything like that. I tried to dark wax it and I didn't like how that looked, so I sanded it down and repainted it. So now I am just using the black wax instead of the dark wax. So there is a difference. There's white wax, dark wax, black wax, and clear wax. And there's probably several other waxes. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't like the way the dark wax looked. I thought it looked too grungy for me. But I love how this black wax is looking. So I just continue to put it around the drawer pulls and the wood carving pieces until I was satisfied with how it looked. And if you guys have any tips on how to use a black wax, please let me know. I did clear coat it, and I have my clear coat wax brush and my black wax brush in my hands the whole entire time. And I do use the clear wax as an eraser, and it does also help blend in some spots. So I am using this brush from Dollar Tree. It actually worked pretty darn well to get into all the little crevices of the carved wood drawer pulls and the carvings around the keyholes. And then after I get everything the way I like it, I am going into the drawers with this lavender furniture wax, and I wax the insides of all of the drawers, front, back, sides, bottom, everything. And not only does it make the wood look amazing, but it also makes the drawer smell amazing. So I love that little touch. I think those added little touches just, I don't know. It's all about the details, guys. I'm all about the details. Okay, so then I am taking my, what's this called? Rub and Buff. I'm taking my Rub and Buff and I am using some antique gold, black, and a different color of gold. So I use 3 different rub and buffs to get the look that I want on these drawer pulls. All right, guys, don't forget that today is First Friday. It's an open challenge. This is hosted every single month by Lisa from Our Gray House and Sarah from Jujubee DIY. And I will have the links to their channel as well as the playlist listed down below. So now it's time for the final reveal. And I forgot to take pictures of it at home. So here it is in my booth. And we have loaded down this booth for Christmas. And we just have all kinds of stuff in here. So the booth is kind of crowded right now, but I had to make room for the dresser. And after the first of the year, we're going to revamp again, like we revamp every few months, just to get like you want to freshen everything up and move stuff around. Whatever's up high, you move low. What's ever low, you move high and fill in any holes that you have. And because it's Christmas time and you want to have your booth as full as you possibly can, there is still some fall stuff in there because this is literally right after Thanksgiving. So we left some fall stuff in there and lots of goodies, lots of goodies. Now, I just love how this dresser turned out. Let me know what you think and I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for joining me, guys.